We turn to North Charlotte now, where family is grieving and trying to wrap their minds around a shocking loss. A CMS teaching assistant faced a judge today on charges he shot and killed his wife inside their home. 61-year-old Eddie McCollum is now charged with first-degree murder. And tonight, in a story you'll only see on WCNC Charlotte, Siobhan Riley spoke with the couple's daughter, who says the family's in disbelief.
Devlin McCollum spoke to us from Utah one day after getting the news that her father, Eddie McCollum, admitted to killing his wife, Tammy McCollum. Documents revealed Eddie called 911 himself.
When you get that call that your mother has been murdered by her husband, what's going through your mind?
I feel like everyone is in such a state of confusion because my father loved my mother dearly. So we're utterly confused.
Authorities say Eddie, who was a teaching assistant at Southwest Middle School, shot and killed his wife during an argument at their North Charlotte home on Cardington Court early Monday morning. CMPD says the shooting was a case of domestic violence.
That wasn't my parents. Their relationship wasn't tumultuous. Their relationship wasn't arguments all day, every day over this.
Well, I mean, honey, are you really going to admit that on TV? Because apparently something happened that your father unalived your mom.
Small things. We're talking about people who've been together for 30 years of their lives.
What do you think made your father snap?
We don't know why. We don't know why. If she were in a situation that she felt like she couldn't get out of, she did her way out. She wasn't abused.
Loved ones now reflecting on Tammy's life, a grandmother who loved her grandchildren more than anything and served as one of the pastors at the Well Worship Center in Statesville.
Even as a grown woman, she's just a girl. She's just a girl. She just liked to do her makeup. She worked at Ulta. She just liked to go hang out with her girls at work. She worked at AT&T in the day.
If you could say one last thing to your mother, what would you want to say to her?
Job well done, my girl. You did a good job. Jesus. You did a good job. You did a good job. You did a good job.
Tammy McCollum would have turned 59 years old Friday. Her daughter says the next step is to ask her father what led to the death of Tammy, who was loved by so many. Siobhan Riley, WCNC Charlotte.
Hey, cousins. Oh, my Lord.
Praise the Lord, everybody. It's an honor to be here.
It's her last sermon.
Repeating all that you've already.
I wanted to come back and do this video because there are people in my comments having conniption. Oh, that's my friend. Y'all better watch these comments. This is not true. This not true. You don't know. She didn't preach on Sunday. She's not a pastor. I'm like, it said it right there that she's a pastor, man. So I just wanted to come back and read an article for the emotional people in the comments. And I get it. You're emotional. This is your friend. You knew her. But we also know her husband stole her life from her. So I don't know what y'all want us to do. Y'all don't want us to talk about it? Obviously, there are some issues. Because a husband don't just get up and unalive his wife. So you can't be upset at us for us talking about domestic violence. This is domestic DV. You can't be angry at me because I grew up in the church and I said the church has taught women to stay with abusive husbands and pray them through. This is a fact. This is not me making anything up. This is a fact, especially in the Black churches. As a matter of fact, that's why I stopped listening to Bishop T.D. Jakes, because they teach women to stay and pray. But these women are staying and praying, and then their husbands are unaliving them. So I'm kind of confused why y'all are upset in the comments that we're talking about this. Like, we will be able to help a lot of young women. It's unfortunate. However, a lot of women can be helped because she was with him for 30 years. You cannot tell me, ma'am, in the comments that's upset with me, that in 30 years, there hasn't been any DV situations. The reason why he upped and unalived his wife at 2 o'clock in the morning is because there were some DV situations. It might not have started 30 years ago. It might have started last week. I don't know. But we do know, based on the news reports, she's not here. So I don't understand why people are upset. Yeah, we're going to talk about it because we're trying to save women. We're trying to save another sister, another Black woman from getting her life snuffed out by her husband.
'Cause the Lord is my shepherd.
Right issues. Beautiful, sister. Of course, this is AI, but absolutely gorgeous. I wonder if purple was her favorite color. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful woman. It says pastor. Pastor. So what are you telling me? She's not a pastor. Why are people saying she's a pastor? She's not a pastor. Pastor, minister, preacher, evangelist, all the same. Pastor Tammy McCollum. It says it right there. But I'm going to read the article from the Christian Post for the people upset. She's not a pastor and she didn't preach her last sermon. Well, that's what the news report said, ma'am. So I don't know what you want us to do. So let me just go to the Christian Post and read the Christian Post. North Carolina pastor, Sh0t dead, husband charged with her unalive. And for the person that's saying, why saying unalive is so stupid, maybe you should ask why we say unalive. Thank you. Shout out to the cousin who answered the question. Maybe your question should have been, why do you say unalive instead of saying unalive is stupid? Because who's the stupid one? We know why we say unalive. You're the one that don't know why we say unalive. So maybe if you don't know, ask the question. North Carolina pastor, Sh0t dead, husband charged with her, murder. Tammy McCollum, a beloved North Carolina pastor. Person in the comments that she was not a pastor. Was Sh0t dead inside her home on Monday, and her husband has been charged with her murder. She was 58. McCollum was a minister at the Well Worship Center in Statesville at the time of her death. The Charlotte Mecklenburg Police Department said in news release that shortly after 2 a.m. Eastern on Monday, they responded to an assault with a deadly weapon injury called to the residence. When they arrived, they found McCollum suffering from gunshots, wounds, and was pronounced DEAD on the scene. The Well Worship Center did not immediately respond to requests for comment from the Christian Post. On Tuesday, the late minister also worked at Ulta Beauty at the Belgate Shopping Center in Charlotte. An employee told CP on Tuesday that Tammy McCollum had worked at the beauty supply store on and off for about 8 years, but a manager said they could not comment further. Van Appleton, a salon owner and master stylist at said in Cinefizz that he worked with her for several years and she was kind, vibrant, and caring. You can tell she's very bright, vibrant. I worked with Tammy for several years at the Ulta store. She was one of the most kind, vibrant, caring people I've ever had the chance to know. Hero, she deserves so much better than this. Rest in paradise, Tammy, you'll be missed. They described her as the best employee. Tammy McCollum, I'm going to miss you so much. I'm going to miss your beautiful side. She has a beautiful smile, you could tell. I was supposed to do your makeup this weekend for your birthday. Her birthday was coming up. My God, this is a cruel, evil world we live in. I love you, my girl, always. Love to be this way. Her birthday was coming up. And this evil man stole her. Okay. DV can happen with anybody. What we are saying is, ladies, don't stay. My daddy said the first time he HITU could be your last time. The next time he HITU could be your last time. Okay. It's very sad and it's very unfortunate, but we can remember her by telling women, don't stay. You can't fix them. You can't help them. Okay, that's what we can do for especially younger women.
Never said it would be easy, but I can't stop crying. Sometimes I wish I had.
Turn off the music. Beautiful sister. She could tell she was anointed too. Have mercy. Have mercy, Lord. So the people in the comment, don't be upset because we're talking about it. We have to talk about it because we have to help other women. You don't want us to help other women? You don't want us to sound the alarm. You don't want us to sound the alarm. You don't want us to say, if a husband is going to get up on a live view at 2:00 in the morning, this is not something that somebody just do. There's been DV issues before. We can, sure, we don't have the paperwork in front of us, but we can make the assumption. We can make that assumption, even though my husband say never assume, but he's in corporate, so. Okay. And I get it, you're emotional. I get it, you're sad and you're friend, but we have to talk about these things. We have to talk about these things that's happening in the church.
Husband sent her off to glory after Easter Sunday at that. He had said that he got into an argument. He voluntarily called 911 to let them know he had sent her out to her make, and then he got arrested and he in custody. So 61-year-old Eddie McCollum done took his wife, Pastor Tammy McCollum, sent her up to her maker. Now she did give the sermon at the Well Worship Center on Sunday for Easter Sunday at that. And then somehow.
Okay, so there you go. Everything I've read and heard said that she gave the sermon on Easter Sunday. So when they say she preached her last sermon, did she preach after that? For the person that's being emotional in my comments, as far as everyone knows, the last sermon she gave was Easter Sunday. Did she preach Easter Sunday night? Usually people don't preach Easter Sunday night. Usually we go home and spend time with our family and friends. So my point is, for the person being emotional in the comments, talk about that's not was her last sermon. If she preached Easter Sunday and she hasn't preached since then, which usually Easter Sunday, we go into our family, that was her last sermon. She ain't preaching in heaven, ma'am. There's no preaching going on in heaven.
They had got into an argument about 2:00 in the morning. He called authorities to their home on Cardington Court. They let them know, hey, we had got into an argument. I did shoot her, and then, she probably is gone at this point. When they got there, they did try and do life-saving measures. Unfortunately, she had already passed on. So they did go ahead and take him into custody. Now, she also did work at Sh0t in Belgate. Now, he worked as an employee at the Charlotte-Mecklenburg School District, and they did go ahead and put him on suspension without pay because, of course, he did say he did it. But they did go ahead and charge him with first-degree murder at this time. He did eventually end up asking for an attorney after he had already confessed on the 911 call, and then when he spoke to investigators. So not sure where that is going to go, that he decided to ask for an attorney after the fact because he confessed more than.
He needs to get the chair. Yes, get an attorney, but you need to get the chair, beloved. Get the chair. Get the chair. You need to get the chair with the needle.
Once, and then said, can I get an attorney? But the school district did go ahead and put him on suspension without pay while he moves forward in the court system after he done sent passed off to glory after Easter Sunday. You done gave Easter Sunday sermon real nasty work, and then you get to the house and your husband say, I just can't do it, and send you off to your maker? Like, we are really in the last day. If you have not yourself gotten right with your maker, make sure you go ahead and do that today, because clearly it's not going to be long. People say they're not going to pass off.
And the thing is, again, for the person that the couple of 2 or 3 people upset, you can't say, we can say there's been DV. Nobody just get up and unalive somebody like that. All right, y'all. I just had to come on here and say, because I be so annoyed sometimes at some of these people that come in the comments. Just annoyed. Oh, watch your mouth. That's my friend. Okay, what you gonna do? Come beat us? You're going to find each and every one of us that's saying we need to not stay with domestic men and beat us. Obviously, there's been DV issues.
We'll get right into the word.
Amen.
My niece has already read the scripture, so we'll skip that. But I'm being led to go in a different direction.
Okay.
If you guys can give me 2 minutes. I have a very close friend of mine who is her son.
Oh, well, she's beautiful. We probably gonna come back and listen to that sermon, but I have to go, child. I have a doctor's appointment. All right. I just wanted to make that video because some people it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make. What do you? This is another Black woman being killed by her unalive by her husband in like 3 days. So we are going to talk about it, and we need to talk about the abuse that the church sweep under the rug. Maybe this will be the thing to shine a light on the Black church who tell Black women and Christian women to pray and stay with these abusive men. All right, I have to go. I love you. Comment below. Do y'all understand my annoyance and my frustration with some of these people in the comments? All right, y'all. I love you. I have to go. Talk to you later. Bye.